Gabe, open that door.
You want something?
Just open it because I don't know if our internet needs to come through there. Yep.
Interesting. This idea is that he's lying.
Don't start yet.
Shh, just be quiet. Hello.
Good evening.
Hello.
Welcome to Testimony Tuesday, Talk and
Welcome.
Tea.
Welcome.
We are so excited to have you joining us on today.
Absolutely. Like, tag, and share.
Yes, please like, tag, and share. Tell
Yes.
someone that we are live and we want you to join us. They need to hear this story on today. So I'm excited.
Yes.
Finally.
Reach out to somebody and let them know we out there.
Yes. I am super excited to have our special guest with us on today, but I'm not going to jump into her just yet. We are going to say thank you for joining us, guys. Thank you so much for watching on tonight.
Yes, thank you.
It's been a little while since we've been on. And so it's been a really long time since we've been on with a guest.
Right.
And so today we have a guest with us and we are so excited to have her. We are excited that you are watching. As June said before, like, tag, and share. Tell someone that we are on.
Yes. We want to encourage somebody this evening.
Absolutely.
So don't just get all the encouragement for yourself. Invite somebody else to get some of this encouragement
That's
today.
right. And so Testimony Tuesday started out with us just sharing testimony, starting with our very own testimony, but just understanding that there is power in the testimony.
Yeah.
And so our scripture that we base Testimony Tuesday Talk and Tea on is
The scripture that we base it off of is Revelation 12, verses 10 and 11. And it reads, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death."
powerful. So
Yes.
it just lets you know that there is power in the testimony.
Yes.
There
yes.
is power. Sometimes we think we go through things and it's just for us to go through. But once you come out, your testimony can surely help someone else, because there is someone else that may be going through what you have already been through. And so it's very important that you share your testimony to help someone else.
Absolutely. And since we've started doing this, we have received an overwhelming response of gratitude of people sharing how they have been encouraged.
Absolutely.
So if this has been an encouragement to you, reach out to us and let us know and tell somebody else.
Absolutely. And I will say this as well. Each time I hear someone's testimony, is such a blessing to me.
Yes.
So for everyone that comes on the show, they have something different to say, and it always encourages me. So it's just a blessing. So we have my sister in Christ, Minister Angela Hanks, here with us on tonight. She is such a super sweetheart, but more than that, she loves God above all things. And so she's married. She has a handsome son. But your roots didn't start in North Carolina.
They did not.
And so we want to just hear, I'm turning sideways so I can get ready for the story. But we just want to hear, tell us a little bit about your background. This is Women's History Month. And so we're excited to have you featured on today. But tell us a little bit of your story. Where you're from. You're not necessarily too new to the area, but kind of new to the area. Yeah. And so tell us all about it.
All right. Well, first, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to be here with you and Deacon June. And you're right. So North Carolina still feels like new to me.
Right.
I moved here in 2018 when I married my amazing husband.
Yes.
But I'm originally from Clarksville, Virginia.
Wow.
Right over the line in the North Carolina line. Small lake town. I always say it's the prettiest place
Yes.
this side of the Mississippi. And that's where I was born and raised.
Wow.
I went to school at Bluestone. I left there and I went to Richmond, Virginia,
Okay.
where I went to VCU, and I studied there. And I eventually graduated from St. Paul's College, which
Okay.
is a small college in Lawrenceville, Virginia.
Yeah.
But how I got back to North Carolina is it's a long story that I'll try
Yes.
to make a little short. But I spent 24 years in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
So that's
Now is St. Paul's in Richmond?
St. Paul's is in Lawrenceville,
Lawrenceville,
Virginia.
you just
Yes,
said
another
that.
small town.
Mm-hmm.
And how I got to Lawrenceville is life. So I started at VCU and took a sabbatical
Okay.
because part of my story is that probably I don't think I've ever shared publicly is I had a season of real depression.
Mm.
And so I left school and for some time
Yeah.
and joined the workforce. I joined Bank of America as a telephone banker. Oh my gosh, like I've
Wow.
never actually shared that publicly. But I joined Bank of America as a telephone banker, worked there, went through that season of depression for I would say about a year and a half. And so I would like to pause
Mhm.
because in Christendom, especially sometimes in the African American church,
Mhm.
depression, mental illness, things like that are not talked about.
Right.
And a lot of people even look at depression as, just pray about it, have faith. But it's a very real thing.
Absolutely.
It's a very real thing. And so I eventually had to succumb to prayer, but also to medicine for a season, about
Yes.
6 months. And I'm so thankful to God because at my lowest point, I remember the darkness
Mhm.
and telling him if he ever gets me out of this dark place,
Mhm.
if he ever, then I would give him my life for the rest of my life. Now I have been
Mhm.
saved for years, but it meant something different. And so the Lord did deliver me from
Mhm.
that season of depression. And I went on to do great things at Bank of America.
Mhm.
But
And I want to pause right there just for 1 second because I'm so glad that you speak about that moment because people can look at people and just think things are just okay always,
yeah,
or they look at your now
mhm,
and don't know your then.
exactly.
And so to hear that you had a moment where you didn't feel your best,
Mhm.
and in that moment, you took the necessary steps to make yourself better because a lot of times people will try to, church their way through
Mhm.
depression,
Mhm.
anxiety,
Mhm.
all the things. And God is a healer, God can do all things,
Absolutely.
but Luke was a physician.
That's exactly right. And I'm always encouraged. And one Sunday, our pastor even preached about this, that the Lord, we don't get to determine how the Lord heals.
That's right.
He can heal instantly with a miracle, or he can heal through a process, like he did with the man that he told to go and wash his eyes and then go again.
That's right.
And so I just thank the Lord that he saw fit to give me physicians, but also prayer, also
Absolutely.
counselors, which
Yes.
is something that we don't talk about
We don't
enough
talk
either.
about it.
Go and speak to someone. But I'm so sorry. Like Testimony Tuesday was not
It's
supposed to do
good.
this
This
to me.
is good.
But I'm so thankful because I don't even really think about those times
Right.
anymore. But when I was in it, I remember going to church, religiously, praying, asking the Lord like to heal my mind, to this place that I was in, and remember thinking, God, I know who you are. Like, I know that you're a healer. I believe you. I know these things, but still going through the motions, not telling my family. My mom's a nurse.
Wow.
So, not telling my family, withdrew from school and no one even knew because
Wow.
I was, I was spending money for school, but I wasn't showing up for class because I was in this depressive state.
Yes.
And I was just wasting money. So withdrew from school. They didn't know that, dealing with it on my own. And then I found a small ministry that had the power of prayer.
My.
And not only that, but they also had a clinical therapist on staff who told me that there's no shame in going to speak to someone or even getting medication. So I'm so thankful for that season in my life.
Absolutely.
Look, that it allowed me to also have compassion to people when I minister.
Right.
Because when you see people, you don't know what people are going through at
That's
home.
right.
People
Right.
can put on a face, a
That's right.
facade, they can dress up, they can even function, because that's how good God is too.
Yeah.
He still allows us to function,
That's right.
even though we, sometimes going through things. So I went through that. Bank of America, amazing, time there, 14 and a half years.
Wow.
And I met my first husband
Okay.
there, Benjamin's dad.
Yes.
And so we were married in 2005,
Mm-hmm.
after a very short courtship. So I'll take a pause there and
Yes.
tell everybody that I do believe that the Lord can send you people and you can get married after a short time. But I encourage all the single ladies and men out there to date people intentionally. See people through all the seasons of their life.
My.
And when I
Wow.
say seasons, I
That's
mean,
good.
how are people in the summer season of their life when things are happy, things are fun, things are plentiful? And how are they in the winter seasons of their life when things may be a little grim, when there may be lack? How do they handle these things? How do they handle confrontation?
Right.
And that's something that I did not do. And that my first marriage ended very tumultuously. I got Benjamin out of it, so I don't dare say I regret it because
Right.
he is an amazing son.
Yes, he is.
But it was a very hard 4 years of marriage and
Yeah.
divorce,
Yeah.
which left me as a single mom.
Yeah.
Which is something that I never wanted to be, because another part of my story and just I don't know. I guess going through things, wanting to please God with your life and not always knowing what that really looks like. I came from a family of extremely strong women.
Right.
And every woman in my family, besides my grandmother, was married once. And that first marriage ended in divorce. And then their second marriage was for life. I'm talking 20, 30-year marriages. And so when I grew up, I said, I want to break this curse, is what we called it, in my family. I want to be married once forever. And so in hearing that and seeing that and believing for that, my first husband was in the church. He was a minister.
Wow.
So a lot of people don't know that. So
Right.
I spent time as a first lady, and all that meant, wanting to protect the church,
Yeah.
not wanting to bring reproach on the church or the Lord, staying in something that was really, really bad for my health, even my mental health,
Right.
but
Right.
not wanting to be divorced because I had seen that growing up, and not understanding that sometimes we put parameters and we put things on our life that God Himself has not instructed
Right.
us to do.
It's true.
So I ended that first marriage, spent 10, 12 years single, raising Benjamin. And I met my now husband after coming back to Henderson for a cookout one July. And he
Okay.
was there, and the rest is history.
I
Look,
love
look,
it.
I'm in North Carolina now, and I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. Well, we are excited to
We
have
are.
you.
Yes,
I'm
we
excited to
are.
be here.
We are so excited to have you. And so we met in church.
Mhm.
And
Oh.
tell us how you got to church.
Oh yes, wow. So while in Richmond, I spent 17 years at St. Paul's Baptist Church, led by Dr. Lance Watson. An amazing time. Some time there working in the newcomers ministry, the outreach ministry. And when I came here, I did not find myself in a church family like I was used to.
Right.
Great people, really good people, but very traditional, somewhat, I don't know, I won't say dogmatic, but very traditional.
Right.
And I was like, Lord, you did not bring me here for me to die on the vine. I was like, you're going to have to help me.
Right.
So for a season, when I first got married, I was here and I was going to 4 services a Sunday. Bedside Baptist services. I was
Okay.
look, the Potter House, Change Church. I mean, I was
Yes.
going to service after service, starting at 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. I was on Zoom watching service.
Wow.
And I was like, this cannot be my life. Like, I've got to find a service. So one Sunday, I woke up and I told the Lord, I said, I'm leaving this house, and today you're going to direct me to my church. I said, I'm not going to stop driving until you show me where to go. I didn't really know all the places I was going then anywhere. I was very new. So I just started driving the back roads from our house into Oxford, and I stopped at one church, and there was people getting out and they were going in. So I backed into a parking spot, and I was like, okay, this might be good. And I looked in my rearview mirror as I was applying lip gloss, and there was a crow or buzzard sitting on a tombstone that I had backed up
Wow.
to. And I said, no, I said, that's death. I said,
Wow.
crows. I said, they are where, dead places are. I said, no, this isn't it. So I put the car in drive. And some of
Wow.
the people waving at me. And I literally said, okay, I'm going to keep driving. And I drove into the city of Oxford, and didn't really know where I was going. And I passed one church, Brick Church, before
Yeah.
you get to ours. And I turned down the street and I saw our church. And so there was a little driveway, and I drove to the back. And I was like, well, I'm not getting any feelings that I shouldn't stay here. So when I stepped out of the car, one of the sisters of our church, actually Sister Hawkins, Sister Phyllis Hawkins, she was ushering that Sunday, and she had came to the parking lot to get something out of her car. And she was like, welcome, sister. She was like, is this your first time joining us? I was like, yeah. She was like, come on, you can come in with me.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, this feels so good.
Yes, yes.
So I went into the church, and wow. I mean, of course, the Spirit of the
Yes.
Lord met me there. Pastor's teaching was everything that I needed, and I just stayed. Look, y'all became my people, and I
Yes,
stayed.
yes.
Let's go,
I
Phyllis.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, look,
That
parking
is-
lot usher ministry.
That's
works.
right.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yes.
put you back in the parking lot.
That's right. That's right. She
That
welcomed me.
is so
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
God will, some people don't believe in it, but the Lord, He wants good things for us.
Absolutely.
There's no good thing what He withhold from us. And when we ask the Spirit of the Lord, He will direct us.
Yes.
Sometimes not always as literally as He did me in this instance, but
Right.
if we obey Him, if we follow Him, if we yield to His voice, He will show us where we're supposed to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so good. And I love that you were so in tune when you went to the other church
Mhm.
and saw the crow,
Yeah.
that you were able to understand.
Yeah.
And that is powerful
Yes,
to me.
because I told the Lord that morning, I was like, I'm not going to die on the vine here, not going to church. And so I get here and I see a crow, and I'm like, no, this more death.
Right.
This will be more
Right.
death. And so,
Oh,
yeah,
that is such a blessing. Such a
Absolutely.
blessing. Well, we have been so blessed with you at Zion.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just such a
love
blessing,
Zion.
such a blessing. And I'm telling you, Zion was a safe place for us.
Mhm.
And similar to your story, we had left a ministry that we
Mhm.
were in, and we traveled to Oxford because the ministry we were in were connected to so many different ministries here. I didn't want them to have any kind of issues
Mhm,
and
mhm.
things like that, or us. And so we just decided to go outside.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
so we went to Oxford. We were actually looking for Cornerstone. That's where we thought we were headed.
Right.
How we ended up at Zion to this day, I have no clue.
The Lord.
I'm glad we did.
But we went into Zion, and I'm telling you, that
Yeah.
Sunday, he was preaching about Joseph. And the message, as you said, was so good.
Yeah.
And he said to us, we're going to do part 2 next Sunday. And Pastor doesn't always do that.
No.
And so that was enough for me to think,
Okay, we
I
gotta
come
come
back
back.
next Sunday
That's
because
right,
I
we
got to
gotta
hear
come back.
this. And so that is exactly what we did. We came back the following Sunday, and we've been there ever since.
I love it.
So yeah, that is
Wow.
isn't that something?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And so you're here. So when you originally came to North Carolina, what was your profession? What were you doing when you got here?
So I was still working with Capital One when
Okay.
I came here. I was working remote. I had been working from home for 7 years. As I was coming out of my divorce, the Lord is so faithful. So once again, I found myself in a place like mentally where I was shutting down because now, my worth is being questioned. I'm like, I can't keep this marriage together, and I'm praying for marriages, and And I love marriage. I love the ministry of marriage.
Yes.
So I was teaching on marriage, but I have this husband who doesn't love me. I have this husband who, is it's just not working. And so I was shutting down
Yes.
and missing time at work because Benjamin, a lot of people don't know, Benjamin was born with an atrioventricular valve defect, 2 holes in his heart. And 4 days after he was born, the doctors came in and they told me that he would likely develop Down syndrome.
Wow.
And I said, I don't.
And this was after he was born.
Yes, 4 days after he was
Wow.
born, they told me that they detected that he had atrioventricular valve defect. So it's a 2 holes in his heart, but it was from birth, and that it would probably not be repairable. And most children, 89% of children with his defect, develop Down syndrome. And so I said, no, I don't receive that.
Right.
And so, I said, I was like, I serve a God that's able. I don't receive that. And I remember the doctor saying, I understand what you believe about God, but I'm a doctor and science doesn't lie.
Mm.
And so I remember when he left, I told my then husband, I said, I need you to find me someone that I can speak to because I need another doctor. Like, he can't come in anymore. He
Right.
can't touch Benjamin, and he can't speak over Benjamin because clearly
Yes.
he's not in alignment with me. He does not have faith. And so we got another doctor, Dr. Mary Falterman. I'll never forget her. She was on rotation and she said she would take our case. And so I told her, I said, I don't receive that. And she says, well, what we'll do is we'll just monitor him and see how he progresses. So when we went to his 7-day checkup, they found the murmurs again. They said they did hear them, and they gave us what the prognosis could be.
Right.
They said that he would probably have low, birth weight
Yes.
all the way through to kindergarten, slow development, speech impediments, different things. And a lot of those things were true. Some learning disabilities, but the summer before Benjamin entered kindergarten, he had open heart surgery. And the reason why they decided to do the surgery is because the 2 holes that they said would never close, one closed.
Wow.
Yes, 'cause
Look
the
at
Lord is
God. Because
faithful.
he is faithful.
And the other one had shrunk to a point that it was now operable.
Wow.
And so they had open heart surgery. They said he would be there for 9 days, 4 days in ICU. Benjamin was in ICU 24 hours, 3 days, and we left
Wow.
the University of Virginia, coming home, and his doctors came in and they said, he's our miracle boy. They were like, we've never seen anything like this. And I told them, I said, because God is faithful.
That's right.
And I have to pause because on the way to the hospital for his surgery, my mother and I rode together because Benjamin's father and I had separated at that time.
Yeah.
And so my mother and Benjamin was in the back seat, and he woke up and he said, Nanny, where are we going? And she said, Benjamin, we're going to the hospital for your surgery. He said, oh, we don't need to go. He said, God's already healed me. And Mama said, yeah, well, he has. She was like, but he's going to use the doctors too. And he said, okay. And he went back to sleep. And so when we got to the hospital, and he came out, 1 day from ICU and 3 days when we were leaving, he said, Nanny, I told you, God already healed me. So I'll never forget that because God keeps all of his promises.
Yes.
He keeps all of his promises. And I want to encourage somebody because
Yes.
You can believe the report of the Lord. I'm not telling you, if the doctors tell you something, I'm not telling you don't cooperate with the doctors because we did all their tests.
Right.
We did all the things. But don't allow people to speak over you or
That's
your
right.
children things that are contrary to what you believe God is able to do.
That's right.
So Benjamin does not have Down syndrome.
That's right.
We did have a time in elementary school and middle school because he learned differently.
Yes.
So rote memorization was a thing. We had spent many nights doing homework that should have taken most kids 10 minutes to do and took us an hour.
Yes.
But he graduated.
Yes.
He is
Yes.
doing well right now.
Yes.
He's thriving. And so don't allow people to speak things over your children. Be your kids' advocate.
Woo!
And believe God because he's more than able.
Absolutely.
He's more than able. So how did I get there?
Well, before you let me pause you for another minute because I think that that is so key, um, to stress that you have to be your child's advocate.
Yes.
You think that because education is education, that
Mhm.
everybody is,
Oh gosh, no.
but it's not.
It
and
is not.
so for me, which is one of the reasons that I'm on the school board right
Mhm.
now, is
Mhm.
because I advocate for my child
That's right.
all the time. And I wanted to advocate for other people's children as well,
Yes.
and to make sure that our kids are getting the best. And it is so sad that, even when it comes down, and some people don't understand, and I
Mhm.
had to learn the hard way, um, that some people are not always in it for the children.
That's correct.
And it's a sad thing, it's a hard story to believe, but some people just are not.
They are not.
And when you realize that, then you have to do what you have to do to protect your child.
Yeah.
And so for us, it's been some hard decisions for us, but we've had to do that to keep him protected. Because as you said before, everybody's not the same.
No.
We have raised Gabe in such a way that, he's not a perfect child, but he tries to do what's
Mhm.
right.
Mhm.
He is my spoiled baby, and
Yes.
I recognize and understand that all day long. But I'm telling you, I will fight for him
And
every day.
I recall Benjamin was in the third grade, second grade, and his teacher, I can see it. Oh gosh, I can see it. She told me that Benjamin was not going to be able to learn her curriculum, and he was going to need to be moved out of into special education. And I said, "What do you mean?" She was like, "He doesn't have the ability to learn. He'll never graduate high school. He'll never read on this level."
Wow.
And so I remember I walked out of her class. I walked down to the principal's office, and I was like, "Let's go ahead and get the paperwork ready because we need to move him out of her class today." I said, and you as the principal, you need to make it your business to be in her classroom because I'm taking my little brown boy out of her class. But if she's speaking that way over
That's
him,
right.
she's probably saying those same things and believing that way about the others that she has in her
Absolutely.
class. And I said, so no, he has the ability to learn. You just don't have the ability to teach him the way that
That's
he
right.
learns.
That's right.
And
That's
so
right.
we took him out of her class and we put him in another class. And I thank the Lord for Miss Amy Har. She follows Benjamin. She made it her business to support him learning the way that he learned.
Okay.
Every summer for 2.5 years, Benjamin spent summers at her house tutoring.
Wow.
And she got him to his reading level before he left fifth grade.
See?
Yeah.
It's those teachers.
Yeah.
I often, I talk about, there's a teacher at Zeb. Her name is Hannah Whittemore. Hannah is one of the kindergarten teachers at Zeb Vance. And when Gabe came into Zeb Vance, he had been with his Mima.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had been to a daycare, two daycares before, but then he was back with Mima. And so transitioning from Mima's house, and then he went to a school and he would throw up every day. And I didn't understand why he was throwing up every day. I thought something was wrong. Took him to the doctor, and that's what the doctor said. It's anxiety.
Yeah.
And so I said, I cannot keep doing this to my baby. Like, if it's stressing him this much, I've got to do something. And so what I did was I first went to Zeb because that's the school in our district. And I looked at the classes. The principal took me on a tour. He allowed me to watch the class. And I said, I'm going to do it. I prayed about it and I did it. And when I tell you, it was the best decision I had ever made concerning him as far as school. It was the best. Hannah Whittemore took so much time with him. She had patience. And right before COVID happened, she would send me videos of Gabe. And I mean, this boy is in kindergarten and he is reading and doing all the things. And I just thought, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And she had the patience for him. And so I love her to this day.
Yeah.
And I have videos where even when he was out of her class and it was time to go to first grade, and he was, I want to go back to Miss Whittemore's class.
Yes,
Just
yeah.
cute little things. And I'll send her one every once in a while to just remind her of him. But she loved him and he loved her. And so that's so important. So when I
Yes.
hear you talk about Miss Hare and
Yes,
the extra effort that she
That's right.
gave, that's the kind of teaching that our children need. When I started teaching first grade, I wanted the parents to feel safe with their kids.
Mhm.
Everything I wanted in a teacher is
That's
what I
right.
wanted to be to my children that were in
Mhm.
my class. And I wanted parents to understand when you leave those kids here,
Yeah,
they're safe.
that's right.
And you don't have to worry about, whether your kid, the equity in the classroom was there, the love, the compassion, all of those things were in my classroom. And so I think that that is so important. So when I
Yeah.
hear you say that, it is so important. Then COVID happened and his year was cut short with Miss Whittemore. But I just think it's important. And parents, pay attention.
Yes.
Pay attention to your children.
Yes.
Pay attention to what they say, how they act. Pay attention to those things, because when I became a teacher, I understood the responsibility.
That's right.
And I understood that these kids aren't my kids.
That's right.
These are God's children.
Mhm, mhm.
And so I have to treat them like God would treat his children, because they are special. And so I love my babies. And so
Yes.
anyway, that's my spill on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was a good time when the doctor said signs don't lie.
Yeah.
That was a good time to let him know that God don't
God
lie.
don't lie.
That's
either.
right. That's
Look,
right.
God doesn't lie. He's not a man that he can lie.
Right.
He does not lie. And I remember seeing that doctor because Dr. Falterman, after she did his surgery and all that good stuff, Benjamin probably was 9 or 10, and we were doing yearly visits.
Yeah.
She said he didn't need to come often, just every year. And we saw that doctor, and I remember that he looked at us.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell Dr. Falterman, like, let him in, because he needs to know
Yes.
that you just, I understand his position, but you can't speak those things.
You
And then
cannot.
I was 4 days. I had 4 days. I had a cesarean,
Right.
and then you're gonna tell someone, like he told me, right after he was born, this is heavy news.
Yes.
And you don't give them any prognosis that's encouraging. But
right.
listen, the Lord is faithful.
Yeah.
Faithful.
He
Faithful,
was
faithful.
he was part of the horses and the chariots.
Oh my
That's
gosh!
right.
Trust in horses.
Yes,
trust in
right.
chariots.
yes,
That's right.
yes. But
Natasia Lewis said, "This is good. Thanks so much for having this conversation."
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I'm
Thank
glad.
y'all. Hello, everyone. I see
Yes,
some new
hello,
people
hello,
have joined,
hello.
guys. Thank y'all for joining us.
Yes.
We'll go back to the comments in a little bit. But go ahead.
So, obviously I got here, and because I was working remotely for Capital One,
Yes.
and I moved here in 2018. So I was working remotely until probably November of 2018. We got married in July. And I remember I wrote a letter out to the Lord. Like, I wrote a letter to the Lord telling him what I wanted. I wanted to be, I did that probably 2 years before I got married, that I wanted to be done with corporate America before I turned 40. That's what I asked the Lord. And I wrote out a resignation letter to my boss at the time, probably in August, maybe a month after I got married, saying that I was going to be resigning, and I dated it for a year from then.
Wow.
And I told them all the things that I was going to be doing in the letter. None of these things were true at the time, but these
Yeah.
were things that I was believing God for.
Wow.
And so in December, I had to have an emergency hysterectomy. And after I came out of surgery, about 3 or 4 days later, I got a call from my boss saying that they were requiring everybody to come back into the building. We could no longer work remote. But since I was a permanent remote worker, then I could commute back to Richmond 3 days a week. Well, I'm not going to drive from
Right.
Oxford to Richmond 3 days a
Right.
week. So, my husband was like, you're going to have to just, resign and find something else. And I was like, at the time, that was a 6-figure salary plus
Right.
bonuses. And I was like, you just don't resign.
Right.
But I did, by faith, I did. So I remember I had a follow-up appointment in Richmond, because I had my hysterectomy in Richmond. That's where my doctors were. I hadn't found doctors here in North
Yeah.
Carolina yet. And I had a follow-up appointment January the 11th. And I had written my boss and I said, I'm going to go ahead and put in my resignation. I said, do you want me to bring my computer and everything when I come on the 11th, or do you want me to work out my time until the 31st? He says, yeah, you can turn everything in on the 11th. So when I turned everything in and I walked away from that, and I was like, Lord, I don't know what we're going to do now. So I was sitting in the car at West Creek. That's where Capital One is. And the Lord brought it back to my remembrance. He said, you said you wanted to be done with corporate America before you
Wow.
turned 40. I was going to be turning 40 January 27th. It was January the 11th.
Wow.
And I turned in the computer, and I've never worked in corporate America since January the 11th of 2019.
Wow.
And so I worked for about a year as a chief operating officer for a small faith-based direct sales company called Sanctuary Girl. They're still thriving. We did $1 million in sales their first year out the gate. Sabrina Hayes and Chris Hayes in Georgia, amazing family. They pastor a small church there now. And so they have changed the name to Armored Soul, but they're still thriving.
Oh,
And after that year, I was like, what am I going to do?
right.
I was like, what am I going to do? And I always loved homes, and I
Yeah.
always loved people. I mean, all of my life, I would drag all my families to every open house every Sunday after church.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I got my real estate license in Richmond once, but soon as I did, the housing market of 2008
Yeah.
happened, and I was coming through a divorce, and it just wasn't time. I had to pay a mortgage by myself then, so I didn't use my license. And I said, maybe I'll get my real estate license again here in North Carolina. And I went to school during COVID, and I actually did my pre-licensing course over Zoom. Miss Sharina Branch
Yes.
was my teacher, and that's how I started my career in real estate here in North Carolina.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you are a licensed real estate agent,
I am. I'm a broker owner.
broker owner.
Yes, of the Real Estate Code NCBA. So we are a small boutique firm that sits in Oxford, North Carolina, at 139 College Street. Y'all come and see us. And we serve Southside Virginia, so counties from Brunswick, Mecklenburg, Halifax, Lunenburg, all the way to the city of Danville,
Okay.
and northern Piedmont to the Triad of North Carolina. So all the rural counties, Vance, Granville, Warren, Person, and then of course we do Durham, and we go into Greensboro
Okay.
and Burlington, North Carolina.
Wow.
So yes, we are a boutique brokerage. So we're a small brokerage, but we are mighty,
Yes.
because we have a concierge mindset. So we really feel that every client that comes to the door, it should be a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
We are there to educate them on the power of real estate.
Yeah.
It's still the best wealth investment builder that I know. You're not going to get a better return on investment than real estate, um, whether it's buying, flipping, and selling, or if it's just wealth building through generational wealth and passing on property and land
Yeah.
to future generations. So we educate our clients on the benefits of real estate, how to become homeowners, if they're selling, the best ways, the best times to sell. And then of course, we represent them. We negotiate, everything for them. But we also partner with amazing people. One of my agents, Tamika Davis, so she also has a business, Sold to Sold, and she
Oh.
does clean outs. She does home cleaning services, residential and both commercial.
Okay.
So when we have sellers that come to us and they're ready to put their home on the market, but they need a deep cleaning, or they need things
Wow.
cleaned out, because a lot of people have property that has been left to them, aired
Yeah.
to them, and there's a lot of stuff there and they need cleaned out. Tamika goes in and gets the house ready to be listed for the
Wow.
market. So just amazing opportunity there. But we try to make sure that everything that our client needs from a real estate standpoint, we have. We partner with lenders to help them understand the loan types of products, because all lenders are not equal, just
Yes.
like all realtors are not. And so there's so many different opportunities, loan programs that are available, that we have built partnerships and relationships with them, so that when our clients come through the door, we can match them.
Right.
One of the things that we always say at the Real Estate Code is real estate is built on relationships. It's not just a sales business, it's a relationship business.
I love it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
Sold to sold.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is good. That is good. Well, thank you so much
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
for sharing your story. Now, I know you gave the address, but tell them again how they can reach you. Are
Mhm.
you on social media? How can they
Absolutely.
reach you?
So I am on social media. The Real Estate Co. NCBA's business page is available. I'm also on social media as Angela Hanks, your real luxury homegirl. And my personal page, of course, is filled with real estate stuff, Angela Michelle Hanks. You can find me on Instagram, Angela Hanks Realtor, your trusted realtor. And also you can visit us on the World Wide Web, www.therealestate-co.com.
I love it.
Nice.
Well, thank you so much. This has been such a wonderful conversation.
Absolutely.
And it's so good to just hear all of the things and
Tasha
to
said her
see.
info is in the comments.
Oh, she has posted your info. Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you.
Just to see how the Lord is moving
Yeah.
and what he is doing. It is just so amazing. And
He's
so
faithful.
there is someone out there who may be dealing with some uncertainty in their lives. They may have some depression that they've dealt with and they don't know, what to do. They're masking it
Mhm.
with church
Mhm.
or masking it through work.
Mhm.
And because I call them a functioning depressant.
Mhm.
They're depressed, but they're able to function,
Mhm.
and they will fool you because you may not recognize it. Because what happens is they go through the day, they can smile, they can say
Mhm.
hello, they can
Mhm.
greet you, but when they
Go
get home, it's the
darkness.
bed,
Mhm.
and that's it.
That's right.
And so, to that person that may be dealing with that or may have come through a divorce, you have provided such a level of inspiration to understand that there is life after divorce.
Yes.
And so, one of the things that I loved when you came was that you all immediately, I felt like it was immediately, but you were building the, what do you call it?
The Hanks homestead.
The Hanks homestead.
Mhm.
And so, beautiful home. But it's just amazing that God is a restorer.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
so that is just a part of God. I think with everything that we go through in
Mhm.
life,
Mhm.
God shows a different attribute of himself when we
Yes.
come through.
Yes. Oh,
And so,
I have to pause before. I
yes,
know you're gonna
yes,
ask me to
yes,
do something, but I have to say something about
yes.
that. So when I met my first husband, I was already a homeowner. I was 24 and I was
Yes.
already a homeowner. And I sold that house because it wasn't the pastor's house. And so I
Okay.
sold that house and we bought a bigger house that we could not afford at the time.
Yes.
But when we got divorced, I left that house and I went into a 2-bedroom apartment. I owned a 4-bedroom house before I married him. So I moved into a 2-bedroom apartment. I eventually bought another home that before I left Richmond. And then I remember talking to my husband and we were deciding when we were dating whether he was going to move to Richmond or if I was going to move here. And he owned land here and he was establishing his career. And I always knew I wanted to retire back to the country anyway, so it just made sense.
Yes.
Benjamin was born in the city, but he was a country baby.
Yes.
And so when we moved here, he said, if you move and leave, everything in the city that you love, your church family, your work, and come here, then I will build you your home,
Wow.
the home that you want. And so that's what he did. But I'm saying that because I walked away from a beautiful home when that first marriage and I moved into an apartment. And I remember sitting in it and thinking, God, I was faithful in this marriage. And it's like everything that I had was downgraded,
Wow.
was
Wow.
downgraded. But the Lord showed me that He is a complete restorer. He is a
Yes.
complete, everything that I thought I lost, He gave me back more. He gave me back
Wow.
better. Everything.
Isn't that God? Won't
Everything.
he do it?
Yes. I mean,
Sound like beauty for ashes.
listen, even
Wow.
things like even credit, listen, divorce can take your credit through some things. So this
Right.
is why, as a realtor, I can tell people, I don't care where you are.
Right.
I've had credit as high as 760 and as low as 456. And I've bought 4 houses in my lifetime.
Wow.
So it takes time.
Yes.
It takes a strategy. It
Yes.
takes work. But no matter where you are, you can still become a homeowner.
That's right.
Because if He did it with me, then He can do it with you.
Wow.
So yeah, God, He did it. So Hanks Homestead was, it was God saying, Here, daughter. Look,
Yes.
you know, you thought you lost, but he gave me so much more. Wow. And then not just the house, but he gave me the peace and the love in the house.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Who wouldn't serve a God like
I
that?
mean, I say
It's
that
the
all the
truth.
time,
Yeah.
Deacon Chill.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't serve a God like that? So for the lady or man out there who may be going through a season of depression, maybe going through a divorce,
Yes.
or feeling like they can't move past a failed relationship, a failed marriage, a depressive season, I want you to know that there is life after it. And God has promised us that abundant life is our portion.
Yes.
It is our portion. It is our birthright when we are born again in Jesus Christ. And
Yes.
so if you trust him, if you trust him with your life, get the help that you need. Do not be afraid to get the help that you need. Everybody who is in church has gone through something, and we are all dependent and relying on the power of the cross to
Right.
make it every
Right.
day. So
Right.
everybody's state doesn't look like yours. Yours
right.
might be depression, yours might be divorce, theirs may be something else. But there's power in submitting your life to God and allowing him to walk you through your path to recovery, to healing. And there's abundant life on the other side.
Absolutely.
Wow.
There's
Absolutely.
abundant life. Get yourself connected to a faith-based church.
Yes.
Get you a few. You don't need a whole bunch, but get you a few people who believe your God,
That's
who
right.
pray, that you can rely on,
That's right.
who can handle the ups and downs, the truths
That's right.
in your life, so that you have a support system, and you'll be fine.
Absolutely.
You'll be
And
fine.
and tell them again the importance of therapy
Oh.
or having someone to talk to.
Mhm. It's important. A lot of times we say, speak to your pastor. And while there are some pastors who are trained vocationally to be therapists, sometimes you need your pastor, but you also need a medically trained therapist.
That's
You need
right.
a clinically trained therapist to talk to share the things that you're going through so they can provide you the insights, strategy, and a plan. I always say this, that we have no problems medicating diabetes,
Right.
high blood pressure,
Mhm.
arthritis,
Right.
The truth.
all these things. And our brain is the most important muscle and organ
Most
in our body, but we don't want to treat it.
the
That's
truth.
wild to me.
It's the
Like,
truth.
why would you not want to treat your
Right.
brain if it's imbalanced? If you just need some help to stabilize yourself, your moods, calm some anxieties. Your brain is the thing that's keeping you, functional.
Right.
So
That is so
do
good.
not be afraid to speak to someone, a licensed therapist. It does not mean you're crazy.
That's right.
If you go and seek help, it actually means that you're smart and you want to be healthy. You realize that
Absolutely.
you're not living your best self. You're in your
Absolutely.
best state.
Right.
So
That is so good.
Yeah.
That is so
And
good.
it works.
yes,
It
it
works.
works. It works.
I of course I'm a therapist
Yes.
advocate. I want people
Yes.
to get therapy. When I started school, the first thing they said is that every therapist needs a
The
therapist.
therapist. Mhm.
So, that's how important therapy is.
Yeah.
And so, of
Can I be
course,
your therapist?
you are my therapist, honey.
Come on.
He gets it all. So,
That's right.
But guys, thank you so much, Angela.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. You
Yes.
have
Thank
been.
you.
It's been so good.
Thank
This
you.
was so good to
Yeah,
me.
I haven't talked about some of this stuff in years, so it's just giving me more to thank God for.
Yeah. I had to preach at Jeter Baptist Church on Saturday,
Mhm.
and it was Her Story was the name of it.
Mhm.
And
Amazing service.
Pastor Earl Purvis is the pastor there, and it's in Virginia.
Mhm.
And so I had to share my testimony, and I had not said it in so long.
Yeah.
And as I began to talk about it, it was as if the Lord, I can't even explain what the Lord did for me in the moment of even telling the story.
Mhm.
But I was telling LaShawn, I said, I felt like I embraced my story,
Mhm.
because sometimes I'll say the story, or I'll listen almost as if it's someone else's story. And I know
Right.
that probably sounds really weird. It's mine. I heard,
Mhm.
I feel it. I feel
Mhm.
those
Mhm.
things, but this time when I told the story, it was just something different.
Yeah.
And I thought, and it was in the moment that I was there and had told the story that I said, God,
Look what you
not
done.
only did you keep me,
Whew.
but you carried me.
Whew.
And it was at that moment that I embraced that part of God
Yeah.
to say, you carried me
He
through
did.
that.
He did.
And
He did.
I was just saying, God, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I left there just thanking and
Yes.
praising God
Yes.
because as I told the story, I heard the story
Mhm.
and I also saw the footprints in the sand.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
And it was just that moment for me. And I was like, God, you carried me.
Yeah.
I mean, he
And-
carried me.
Yeah.
God.
Listen, he carried me.
And he's still doing it.
He's still doing
He's
it.
still doing it.
I mean, never dropped us.
Never.
Never dropped us.
Never.
And set us on solid ground, brought us
My
out better
God.
than we started.
Lord Jesus.
Lord
Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you all for joining us. I am trying to see some of the. Hey, Miss Sheila, she joined us on tonight. Hey, Miss
Hello.
Jackie. Hey, Phyllis. Hey, Miss Della. Hey, Tasha. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Janice. Hey, Miss Mary. Thank
Hello.
you.
Oh,
Hey,
Miss
Miss
Sharina's
Jackie.
here.
Hey, Sharenia. Thank you for joining us on tonight. Yes. Hey, Dr. Purvis. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Nikki. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us on tonight. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much. We really, really, really appreciate it. Hey, Miss Della. Hey, Dorothy. Thank you for joining us on tonight.
Yes.
We really, really appreciate it. Numbers 23 and 19. June, see what that scripture says.
Numbers 23 and 19.
Yes. Hey, Natasha. Thank you so. Hey, Pastor Lewis. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight. Thank you so
God
much.
is not a man that he shall lie.
Ooh,
Yes,
that's
that's
it.
right. God is not a man that he should lie. Thank you so much. Hey, Sharonda. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Miss Willa. Thank you for joining us. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Jackie, for joining us. Guys, thank you so much
Yes.
for taking time out of your schedule to join us on tonight. We will have another guest on next Tuesday. I do want to announce on Saturday, we had our gala scheduled for this Saturday at 6 o'clock. The gala has been postponed. It has been moved from March the 28th to October the 10th. So the gala is now going to be October the 10th, and it is our Heroes Banquet Gala together. And so please mark your calendars. If you have already purchased a ticket, your ticket is still good for the October event. If you desire a refund, you can get a refund. Just please contact me. But if you've already bought your ticket is still good for our October event. We have your names. So thank you all so much. April the 11th, we have our baby contest coming up at the Atrium in Henderson, which is the Henderson Middle School building, 219 Charles Street. You don't want to miss it. We have the cutest little babies. And so you don't want to miss that. We have that coming up. And the winery, the soft launch is April the 25th. We are super, super excited about that. 1516 Ivy Hill Road, Clarksville, Virginia. It's right across the line from Townsville. It's about 20 minutes from Henderson, if that much.
Yeah.
So please join us. Mark your calendars. That is April the 25th at 4 o'clock. So also featured today, I have Relentless Ambition.
Ooh.
This is a Keisha Fooney's product. And so I am wearing this today. I am featuring
Let's
a
go,
woman
Keisha.
who is
Let's
doing
go.
great things. And so this is a Keisha shirt. And so if you would like one, please contact Keisha.
It's nice too.
It is nice. It is nice. So I just want to let you know this is available. Contact Keisha Fooney for it as well. We have put the information that you are able to contact Angela if you need her. So please, please, please. And I think that is it. Remember, in November, vote for June, County
Yes.
Commissioner. of Kittrell.
Get out
So
and register to vote.
that's right.
That's
Get
right.
out and register to vote.
Yep,
I think we
encourage
need
somebody,
to do some
take
kind of,
somebody.
Yes.
yeah, it's all the way in November, but we are preparing now. So please get out and vote. And I am biased, and I'm okay with that.
That's
Yeah.
right.
All right.
Be on the lookout for
So,
flyers and other
Yes,
information.
yes,
as
yes,
well.
yes. So we are having a meet and greet coming up sometime soon. So we'll let you know that, and that way you'll be able to meet June for yourself. Because I
Absolutely.
think he's great, but you don't have to
Me
take my
too.
word for it. You can meet him for yourself.
Oh, I look like I'm great, y'all.
You do,
Yes.
you do.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much. Angela, again, thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much for
Thank you.
joining us. Love you guys. Thank you so much. And our tea, we always leave with tea.
Okay.
Not
Yes.
gossip tea, but
Right.
tea. Real
Yes.
tea that's
Real
going to help you. Go ahead, man.
Testimony Tuesday talk and tea.
Yes.
So the tea for this evening as we close out is Psalm 23, the B clause of verse 6. And it says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. So whatever it is that we're going through,
Yes.
wherever we go, whatever we do,
Yes.
just remember goodness and mercy is
Shall
following
follow
us.
us.
Yes.
So, God, you ought to feel like Rodney Dangerfield. He said, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Surely goodness
Surely
and mercy
Goodness and mercy.
shall follow you all the days of your life.
Yes.
And that is the tea for this evening.
Thank
I
you
love
all.
Yes.
Hello, Miss Ellen. Thank you for joining us. Guys, if you're just tuning in, go back and watch the replay. Thank you again. And last thing, thank you for all of you all who donated to Larissa Lachey. It was such a blessing, such a blessing. I need to post the picture, but she did get the donations. Such a blessing, guys. Thank you. It is such a blessing to be able to help. Good night, Sharinia. We love you. Hey,
Yes,
Tracy.
yes.
Thank you for joining us. Hey, Miss Shirley. Thank you for joining us on today. Hey, Nikki. Thank you for joining us. Guys, good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good night.